everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you're here. If you've been watching my last few videos, you know that I've been kind of following a historic path that has a lot to do with my family. And one of the places that I hit this summer before I headed west, which those videos will be coming up to in a little bit. But I wanted to see Plymouth. I have an ancestor that was on the Mayflower, and my son had taken a trip to Plymouth several years ago, but I'd never made it before. So this next video and the next few videos are my little side trip to Plymouth, which I absolutely fell in love. I fell in love. I knew the Cape a little bit because my aunt and uncle had moved out to Hyannis, oh God, when the kids were teenagers. So I had been out to Cape Cod, but I'd never been to Plymouth. I'd also been to Mystic, and I'd never been to Plymouth, and I just absolutely fell in love with Plymouth. So the next few videos that you'll see here are of my little trip to Plymouth and the Cape, and I hope you enjoy them. I really enjoyed bringing them to you, and so thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy. I hope you get something out of it, especially if you've got Mayflower ancestors. I would definitely say go if you can. Get there, check it out, because it's pretty interesting, and they do a really good job. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you down the road. Wow. So we are here at Plymouth. This is where my family began here. Wow. There's a sign. Very cool. The English Village. So let's go here. Let's go this way. Historic Patuxet home site. So we are descended, our family, from Richard Warren, who was on the Mayflower. He was not a pilgrim. He was not a religious person. He was one of the other people on board. He did sign the Mayflower Compact. And one of the cool things about Richard Warren was his wife lived to be 90 years old, and she was later awarded things that most women were not awarded at that time. So we're going down. This is very cool. This is very cool. My father's step-cousin was part Wampanoag. My Aunt Irma was part Wampanoag. She used to talk about that all the time. Whose homelands are you on? The Wampanoag are the indigenous people of what is now called southeastern Massachusetts, the islands of Nope. Martha's Vineyard, and Nantucket, the Elizabethan Islands, and eastern Rhode Island. They refer to themselves as people of the first light. This term can be found among other northeastern indigenous communities who, like the Wampanoag, have called the Dawn Land home since time immemorial. Our museum is located in the heart of Patuxet, one of many self-governing communities in the Wampanoag homeland. Patuxet, which means place of little falls, refers to the area's many freshwater springs and small waterfalls. Very cool, and there's a map. Wow. Very cool. Voices on the Land. Indigenous people across the world maintain strong relationships to Mother Earth. For many, the people are inseparable from the land itself. Everything is interconnected in a series of systems essential to sustaining a healthy world. We hope your journey today inspires you to think about your relationship with the land and water in new ways. Very cool. Very, very cool. Very cool. Native to Turtle Island or not. All of the plants and animals pictured here are common in this region today. Do you know which ones are native to Patuxet and which ones were brought here over the past 500 years? Oh, cool. Native. Oh, that is so cool. Cattails, native. Cow or not native. Goldenrod would be native. Skunk, native. Pigs are non-native. Very cool. This is non-native. And that is, that's actually crowding out the cattails. Turkeys are native. Wild carrot is non-native. Cool. Chickens are non-native. Very cool. Very, very cool. Giving thanks. Wow. Concentrate. I think we'll concentrate on just the village today, and then tomorrow we will try and do the Mayflower and other places. Very, very cool. Oh, wow. Cool. Very cool. Very, very cool. Wow. Very, very cool. Changes in the landscape. Since colonization began, the eastern woodlands have seen significant disruption and change. 4 centuries ago, Wampanoag people likely felt small walking beneath the canopy of massive old-growth chestnuts, elms, and oaks. They managed low-growth vegetation through a practice of prescribed burning. This created open spaces below the canopy for animals to move through. In fact, Poke and Noket, home of Massasoit, the sachem who first approached the English at Plymouth, means the place of cleared land. This name reflects thousands of years of sustainable land management. Introduced diseases, The removal of trees and the interruption of traditional indigenous practices mean that this land no longer looks the way it did in the early 1600s. Despite this, indigenous people maintain their relationships with it. They continue to combat the challenges that negatively impact the land and the relations that rely on it. Very cool. Very cool. Berries ahead, beware. Enjoy looking at the berries, but please don't eat them. I think they're talking about pokeberries, which I'm not sure. Our historic Patuxet team. Wow. Oh my goodness. Very, very cool. Oh my goodness. Look. Very cool. Oh my goodness.
I'm working on, we're going to work on one over here in a minute. It's a rather smaller example, maybe for one people person, but this is for 11. Process done by burning and scraping. So even bringing the tree down, Wampanoag people would use fire. Any kind of shaping, any wood item, a bowl, making a paddle, for that matter, would have all been done by burning and scraping. We didn't have metal axes until European contact, which we know is at least 100 years before the Pilgrims. So would have been all burning and scraping. In burning this, I would have the entire log going at one time, and I would be doing it continuously, night and day, until my boat was done. A small boat like that one right there would take me probably the better part of 4 or 5 days. This boat here took about 10 days. We're in no hurry to make a boat. We have several of them down over there. We're just showing the people how we do it. And I have not been diligent yet this morning to get a fire going on that boat. I'm getting to that point, but we're in the museum world, and the way I look at it here is, we work kind of banker's hours, 9 to 5, more like 10 to 4. More like 10 to 4. So, you know what I mean? I'm in no hurry to get that boat done. I just want the most amount of people to see it as possible. If I finish this boat by November 30th, it'll be a good thing because we close the museum on that day. So I just want a boat done by then. What I've already worked on that is, probably only 10 hours worth of work. So, and you can see it's got a channel in it already. So yesterday I had the whole log going. I was gung-ho. I was ready to go. I wanted to really do something. Today, I want to slow it down. It worked quite a bit in 2 days. And I really do want to kind of keep it so I have it the whole entire next month. So we start getting a lot of school groups in the next couple of weeks, especially 3rd graders as part of their curriculum here in Massachusetts to learn about indigenous and native people as well as the colonists. So we'll start getting like 2,000 school students a day. So I'm going to see kind of to show them exactly how. lot of money to get a lobster at a restaurant, right? If you have any questions of me, you're welcome to ask me. You're welcome to go into the home over there. That's our plot covered we-two. We-two in our language means home. And then you're welcome to come up here. And that's just a sitting arbor where, you would do maybe some of your cooking, just hanging out. Our houses were merely a place to put your belongings and to sleep. All your living went on out here. This is only a giant living room. You're welcome. You're welcome.
This is the house. Looks very similar to the Iroquois houses, the long houses that the Iroquois used to build. Looks very similar.
But these are woven water and airtight and are hung up for insulation. Thank you. You're very welcome. If there's any specific questions, you're welcome to ask. You're also welcome to walk around, get a closer look at anything you see in here.
Did they have a certain type of bark that they were using here?
So what we have up right now is tulip poplar, tree bark, but historically you would have seen a lot of elm, oak, and chestnut tree bark. And these are all old growth trees. By the time the pilgrims get here, they write that not even 5 adult men, with their arms fully outstretched fingertip to fingertip, can get around the base of one tree.
Wow.
Something of that size is producing some pretty big pieces of bark. 10 by 20 foot sheets, and it was 5 to 8 inches thick. So that is lasting for no less than 15 to 20 years.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're very welcome. Enjoy.
How much did they differ from the long houses of the Iroquois?
So for the Wampanoag, I would say the primary difference is that the Iroquois were going to be building almost like a second story, like bunks, and they'd be using those for sleeping, for storage. The Wampanoag were not necessarily doing that. There was some records of shelving, but not to the point where people would be residing up in there.
Interesting.
So they would be building outwards, and then you might see some familial structures vary. For the Wampanoag in here, you would typically see elders sleeping in the warmest part of the home, closest to the fire and farthest from the doors. And then young men are sleeping closest to the doorway because they are going to be the first ones to move out when they marry, symbolically.
Oh,
they're closest
interesting.
to the door,
I would have thought it would be for security.
but also for security as well.
Very interesting.
Everybody needs to know everything. Like a woman might not work on a boat, but she just needs to know how to do it if she has to, right? Just like a man would need to know how to sew, he would need to know how to cook. Because if he was not married, man, he'd be doing that stuff for himself. This is just a shade arbor, a place to sit, a place to do the things that you want to. We never just used our homes the way that people use their homes today, right? Everybody does everything in your home. You cook, you're reading, you're watching TV, you're doing this stuff all inside your home. We just use that as a bedroom. A place to sleep, a place to store your goods. That's it. You would see your living going on right out here. So you see this is your large living room. Right? Well, in the winter months, yeah, you'd be hunting deer, you'd be hunting elk, moose, fowl, different fowl, goose, those type of things. Yeah. But mainly meat in the winter months. Because what are animals doing in the spring and summertime? Exactly. So you wouldn't want to take that mother or father away from their young, because what are you doing? You're killing off your food supply, right? So we didn't hunt during the summer months. We might fowl for duck and geese, but generally no red meat during the warm months. Plus the animals are eating things that make them disease, right? They're not fat. They don't have any fat on them. Their fur is really thin. All undesirable things. You want a nice thick fur for your child.
We're continuing on. We have 2 days. So we're going to concentrate on the village today. This is the craft center.
It's all decorated, they call it slipware because it's all been decorated with watered down clay, which is called slip. So that particular plate is a reproduction of a plate made by a man named Rafe Toft. And he was a very famous slip trail artist back in the day. So this isn't being done by like people in their homes. This is industry. All right, so he has a whole following of people who liked his craft. So but
So all these little lattice ones are different clay.
yeah, like this is that's pretty much that plate there. So that's like Mary of Orange, Mary de William of Orange. I'm not sure. This plate's a little bit later than what we usually do, but it's a good example of slip jeweling that has a design on it I was going to do. But I've got one to copy.
Now, do you sell these in the gift shop?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, oh,
oh
yeah.
yeah. The museum's a nonprofit,
Yeah.
so it all just goes to help support the museum.
You bet.
Here we go.
That's
So
beautiful.
this is the design I'll be putting on this one.
That's similar.
So it's
Oh,
taken
yeah.
from, so we're not doing anything too creative here. Like we are just copying.
Well, this Mayflower plate here is beautiful.
Isn't that pretty? Let me see. Here's one. Here it is before it's fired. So I just finished this one a couple days ago. It's still wet. So you can see it's sort of drier on the outside. But that's how they look before they're fired. So it's the red plate is this color.
Yeah.
I made the plate on the potter's wheel, trimmed out that ring on the bottom, and then you sort of trail that white clay on, and then carve out the details. So you can feel like it's been applied and then sort of carved out.
Yeah.
It's still wet, like I could
Yeah.
blend it, break it.
Yeah.
So I'll fire that up in the kiln, and when it comes out, it'll be the colors of like that deer plate there.
Okay. Now, how long do you have to let them dry?
So I'll let it dry until it is dry, until it forgets what water was.
Till you feel it.
And then I will, well, you can tell, like they get like powdery white. But I could say a week, but it might not be dry in a week.
Depends on the humidity.
And I could say a week and it might be dry in 2 days. I'm just gonna let it dry. I always tell kids it's like your sneakers.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they dry the next day and sometimes you gotta stick them under the
Yeah.
heater or on the cable box in my house. Like right now in the kiln, I've got some stuff going, but I'm only gonna let it go to about 200 degrees and I'm gonna shut it up because I really wanna make sure the stuff is dry before it goes up. When it's firing, we fire at a cone 04, which on the pyrometric scale is like 1,948 degrees. Saying like, but it's exactly 1,948 degrees Fahrenheit. At about 300 degrees, the water boils within the clay. So there's the free water, and then there's like molecular water. And you wanna get all that water needs to leave. If it can collect anywhere within the walls of the clay, you'll have an explosion. So we'll let it dry, and when we fire it, we're firing to that temp, we're firing to the chemical reaction. So people often ask how long it takes. It's usually a 24-hour cycle. It's going to take 7 or 8 hours to get up to that temp, and then twice as long to come down.
Ouch. Very cool. Oh, there's a cafe. I got everything in the van though. No food or drink in the museum shop. Oh, cool. Very cool. So that's the way to the village. Very, very cool. Oh, this is very cool. This is where my family started. This is Tales of the Pilgrims. Actually happened at the Fable First Thanksgiving. Wow. Very, very cool. I often wonder what my son must think, having come down from Richard Warren and also coming down from Dullknife on his native side. I just wonder what he must think. Very cool. Metabolic bed. Caloric bed. Very cool. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Wow, we're going into the village. There's an indigenous hut. Very cool. No, we're good.
Can I give you 2 hints? Can I give you 2 hints?
Yeah.
The second floor of the fort is an awesome photographer video. And the goat pen, just before you leave down there on the right, just before you go out, there is a kid that was born on Tuesday morning.
Oh, cool.
Another one that was born about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. This is where our family started. Oh, let's walk up in here. Oh, it's closed. That one's closed. Is there some way to know? Is there some way to know who owned what house?
Yes.
There is?
Any of the buildings can tell you.
Okay.
And also, I believe there's a docent in the fort today. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And also, there's a gentleman down there, and then two people, a gentleman and a lady, both in navy blue shirts. They will speak in modern perspective.
Okay.
The pilgrims will tell you where doth your friends live.
Okay, this is like Mystic then. It's very similar to Mystic. cool. So this is the fort.
How much North Carolina gone all the way to New York and Maine, and then back down.
Time to catch the foliage, probably.
Yeah. We'll
A
be,
couple more weeks, yeah, depending on how long you're gonna be
yeah,
here.
we'll be ending up October 12th down in Savannah.
Too far south to the west. But you get a little of it.
Yep, yep, and we'll get a full one down in western North Carolina. Don't get
Yeah.
back home.
Thank you.
Very
Except
cool.
1627 down in the village, so everyone you need is over in the village. All right.
Thank you.
And they're all
Intense.
popular, it's 400 years ago. Yeah.
So what would these be?
This was at the end, they'd worked for 7 years and they were getting land, we're calling it 1627 now. So they're dividing up their property, it's the property
Okay.
division. So it's listing who's taking, what, as far as livestock and property. So it's a best list we
Interesting.
have of which families were actually living here in 1627.
Okay, so my question is, if it was 7 years, I believe Richard Warren died before then, didn't he? So his widow was treated as a member of,
Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
so I don't think he lived,
The
You
Warren
live-
family actually got this land, or land very close to this along the Eel River, that was their land.
okay,
And there's actually a house right on the other side there that was a house that Mercy, what is her name, Mercy somebody.
is it
Warren.
part of the village?
No, it's just a private home, but it dates back to,
Okay, because
not quite to his time, but to one of his descendants. So they owned all the land around the river here.
okay, cool, because he is my relative,
Yeah,
my ancestor.
yeah. So they ended up getting land here.
But I know that he did not, he only lived a few years after they got here,
And
but she lived to be 90. She had really, really good bones.
yeah.
So I'm hoping.
Yeah, you can ask some of the pilgrims when you get down there.
This is where my family started.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. Have to find the cannons. So those look very similar to the ones that are at Fort Ticonderoga. Those cannon carriages. They were mounted on ships. So we're going down into the village. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Our ancestors were made of sterner stuff than we are. Oh, there's a goat. Goat's meat is good. There's a goat. A couple of goats. Couple of goats. Look at the goats. Butterflies. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome to go inside. This is the home of Captain Miles Standish's family.
Okie dokie. Where would Warren House be?
Warren? I'm not sure any members of the family are in town today, but I know the family quite well, so I can answer any questions you have about them.
Okay. Because I know you're in character, but he is my ancestor.
Richard Warren came on Mayflower. His wife and 5 daughters remained in England and followed a couple of years later on the ship Anne. They've been here about 4 years, and since then I've had 2 more children.
You have?
Daniel and Joseph.
Oh.
5 daughters in England and 2 sons here. Some of the people do say that it's a testament to the heat of the country. I believe that if a woman is quite hot during her pregnancy, she'll have a son.
Must be hot hard to have a child in this.
Oh, definitely. You cannot have many of the things that we would have had back home. There's no trained midwife here, so births are attended simply by the woman's friends and more experienced mothers, and they will fill the purpose of a midwife.
Well, enough of you guys made it.
I'm very glad that we have survived these 7 years.
Yes. Very cool. Oh my goodness. Wow. Very cool. Very, very cool. And the gardens in back. Very cool. A lot of the same things that they have at Ticonderoga. The ever-present Swiss chard. Wow. A lot of the same stuff that they grow at Ticonderoga. Very, very cool. I hope that your family has many blessings.
Thank you. You as well.
Very, very cool. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Cabbage. Again, the ever-present Swiss chard. That is so funny. Very, very cool. Here. Very, very cool. Look at the corn. Holy crap.
In real life?
Yeah, well, I left there in 1620.
Oh, yes. She's not coming out of character.
Can't bring her back to the
Not coming out of
21st
character.
No, I
century.
suppose that if someone, for whatever reason, did want to learn to speak how we do, they'd need only read something written by one of us. For, as you know, there is no set spelling. So when you write, it's phonetic.
Yes.
It's how you speak it. So, yeah, if you read anything written by any of us, it would often read the way that we would say it. So it would sound very similar.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Certainly.
Ready to be sifted, but it could use a little bit more grinding.
They're not coming out of character.
It's like Mystic.
Yeah.
Mystic is very similar.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, very cool. He sure as hell wasn't. Oh, sorry, don't swear when you're doing camera. YouTube doesn't like it. It's very frustrating because he would not have been sleeping outside the gates. I want to know where he would have been. Look at this. This is cool. Very, very cool. Just like the bedding at Ticonderoga and Fort Stanwix and some of the forts, the bedding would have been lumpy, uncomfortable, and full of bugs. Very, very cool. And how do you keep this warm besides the fireplace? I can ask her. Very, very cool. This one's very similar to the other house. You have your fireplace that keeps you warm. And And your bed. And a place to store your goods. And a table.
So we have a lot of different but they would be using it to put in things like salads and for cooking and other areas because they thought that it had a very specific like cooling property to it. So they thought that you could add it to foods to kind of balance out the properties of whatever you're adding.
Wouldn't it be medicinal too?
Well, yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
They thought that
A lot of
a lot of what you're eating is directly connected to your health. They thought that every plant and every animal had its own properties. They're going by the medieval humoral theory, so believing that everything had like specific characteristics, whether it's hot and dry or cold and wet. And they thought that what you eat can either throw you out of balance or put you back into balance. And so every single thing that they're eating they thought was directly connected to their health, which in a way it is.
It is, yeah.
Just for different reasons that we now know.
Okay, can I ask you on these that are in period?
Yeah.
Are they volunteers? Are they hired by the?
Yeah, so we actually don't, our performers are all hired, it's all a paid position.
Okay.
We're kind of different from other like living history museums in that way. And everyone here is portraying real people who lived in Plymouth Colony in the year 1627. But yeah, it's a paid position. We have had some interns that have gone back to school, which is really sad to see them go, but really wonderful to have them in the first place. But yeah, all the positions for the performers.
So are they full time for the whole year?
For the whole season. We have some people that are like just coming in. I'm kind of new as of like halfway through this season, so we bring people in about like 3 times a year.
How long does it take them to really learn how to talk in period?
That's a great question. So at the beginning of every season, we have like a 3-week sort of training, and for like new hires, a lot of that is like the dialect, which is the way that they're speaking.
Yeah.
Like social etiquette from the period as well. So if you kind of watch the different performers interacting with each other, that's all very specifically based on English social like norms and social customs from that time.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
The way that they're greeting each other, the way that their body language is around each other, it's all very based in history. And so it's that 3-week sort of training that is like both content and also like dialect and etiquette and character work. So really researching and taking time diving in on the people specifically that they're portraying. And then after that, at the beginning of every new season, we do 3 weeks of training again. So if you've been here for multiple seasons, you've gone through like 6 or 9 or 12 weeks of training, but it's a little bit different based on like where you are at that point. If you're returning, it's a little bit different, so you're not going through all of the same like
but you're just kind of freshening up on it.
And a lot of people switch figures that they're portraying throughout the season. So we have, it's pretty common for you to be like one person one season and then somebody else the next season. So really like diving in on that like new individual that you're portraying.
Awesome. Do you switch places? Like, are you sometimes in custom? Or?
I am not yet. But there are people that do fill a lot of dual roles here. So our domestic skills specialist here, she portrays Bridget Fuller, the wife of the deacon. But she's also an expert on the domestic skills, things like working in the home, gardening, that sort of thing. A lot of it has to do with harvesting and gardening, but a lot of things within the home too. She leads our birthing programs and that sort of thing.
Wow, that's interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for stopping by.
Oh, look at the goats. Look at the goats.
baby goats. They got milk from their goats. Aren't they cute? Pigs. Very cool. That's frustrating. Down beyond this would have been Warren's allotment. That would have been Warren's allotment down there, as she said. Very, very cool. Ooh. Very, very cool. From garden to table. Welcome to the Children's Discovery. Play like a pilgrim. It's really dark. This is a much more humble humble bed thingy. I think this is a much more humble house. Very dark. Must have been very cold in the winter. Ah. Even the refuse looks how they would have done their refuse. And dill. And baby goat. Baby goat.
Yeah, so as I say on the Sabbath, we go to the church and do all kinds of stuff. So that is good real English and necessary for church and stuff. So I would not say so they've got many of the right guys, they also got the just as well, you know, separate myself from my colleagues and do sorts of general. Those disagreements I have, which I need to see change within. In the same way that my neighbours, their enemies might call them separatists, and might refer to me as kids. Not over much. There's only been some few occasions, but I assure you, if you do hear the cannon, that is the cow of the land. Yeah, that can be heard for miles round. All of the fishermen will come in, all of the men out to the field will come within as well. We will arm ourselves and we'll be prepared to meet whatever it is has been fired.
Okay, so you might fire just to bring everybody in?
Yeah. Just as well, if there is a ship coming into harbour that is not flying the proper flags, we would fire upon them. Right? Of course, at first not to hit them, but then if they do not raise the proper flags, to hit them. Right? As such, there are always men keeping ward up at the fort, just the same as keeping ward at central town. More commonly, we'll have pairs of men, one at each of the gates and some at the fort as well, in rounds of 4 hours at a time. But given the period of peace and as well the fact that so many folk have to be out to their fields, given the harvest,
we've seen it to go a bit more lax this year. And are the fields, all the growing, is it all happening within these walls? Or? Oh, no. As I say, the palisado was erected quite early. What you see here is only about centre 30 some odd dwelling houses and many other outbuildings sites. Acres and acres and acres and acres. Yeah, so say the house that I do live in is near onto a mile's walk to the northeast.
And you signing up for the militia?
How old are you? 10. Not quite old enough, though, depending, you might be starting to train him or something. And
maybe you guys could share all that. Actually, I'm joking.
Yeah.
It might be better in the farm.
Maybe if you had quite a lot of anger with him, you'd be better off in a commanding position anyway. Captain Spanish can be a bit of a short when he seems to fire.
I know it's my lunch.
Outpost, fishing outpost.
Piscataqua? Many of the fellows that I did come here with went to that place. I were not meant to be a part of Plymouth at first. I'm the only one of the men who went to go set it up west of Gusset. That does get remained. And Piscataqua were the means by which all of them left, waiting for those fishing vessels to come out and come back to England.
How long it takes to go by water?
From here to Piscataqua?
I suppose not by my reckoning. I travelled by land, so that was some days of travel.
Yes, I
I do not think I would take the ship up that far intensely, but it is much shorter.
Okay, and if he wanted to prepare him for the militia, what
During that first year, we did have the sorts of celebration of the harvest. We had a
Oh, sorry. Very cool. This one has a little bit more affluent than some of the others. Excuse me.
Women are not really involved in
This one, again, a bit more affluent. Interesting how they did this fireplace. It's not really a standard fireplace. Very interesting. Very interesting. Veggies drying. Firewood. Broom. Very cool. Hello. So whose house would this have been?
This is Goodman Cook his.
So how do you find the winters here?
Well, not so terrible. At the very least, you don't have to pay for fuel, so the inside of doors is always comfortable.
Oh, God.
Though it can be quite sudden.
Brutal.
Pieces of this place.
Brutal.
Only, say, slightly colder than what it is in England. It's
Really?
more volatile, yeah.
Really?
It is the reason why wheat does not do so well. The frost comes too swiftly, and
Interesting.
may have a bit longer of a time as well.
Mm.
I remember you saying something quite different when you arrived here from West Augusta.
Well, yeah, I suppose when I arrived here from West Augusta, I had spent 4 days with no fire, right?
Oh my goodness.
Quite a different Phineas that we see.
Mm. Now you gentlemen have been here for 7 years now? This is...
We're not gentlemen. Donkey though. I've been here for 6 years on some months, not quite 7. It will be, I suppose, at this particular place, some 7 years as of December next.
And you are?
Oh, John Olden.
Oh, okay.
This is Phineas. He's been here since 1602 on 20 years now. Yeah. You arrived in, it was May, was it not?
It was certainly warmer.
Yeah.
Wow.
I suppose I've certainly crossed at least 5 years at this point.
Wow. Oh, we're heading on out, and we see this sign. They are going to try and get some more stuff for the native part of this. You can help us build a bridge to the future. Exciting plans and fundraising are underway to expand the interpretation of Indigenous history, heritage, and culture with a new building that will enable us to better tell the stories of profound change and cultural persistence in the homeland of the Wampanoag, Pokanoket, and other tribes of this region. The goal is to construct a building that enriches your journey, taking you from the traditional environment of the historic Patuxet home site to present day. So we're heading back on out. I think we're heading out, not sure. Not sure which way we're going. I think we're heading out. They're doing some construction. Oh, the Warren House. Very cool. That's my ancestor. Very, very cool. We're just beginning coming soon. The 1670 Warren House. Please pardon our appearance as we prepare for a new building and historic site. Following the first Thanksgiving change continued to sweep through America, brought about by English and Native communities in constant interaction. Tens of thousands of colonists arrived to establish new towns. War raged between Native communities and English colonists, and the world was transformed by industry, mercantile, religious, and political upheaval. The 1670 Warren House is Plymouth Patuxet's path to further exploring the latter half of the 17th century. Guests will be drawn into augmenting storytelling experiences, unveiling multi-generational sagas that will include Massasoit's family as well as Mayflower and colonist family who arrived later. Very cool. Very, very cool. way out. This building to the right is the visitor center. So after exploring the Plymouth Village, I have to say thank you, Richard Warren, for getting on that leaky boat. I wouldn't be here if you hadn't. I appreciate the effort that you did, and I especially admire your wife, who at a time when women were not allowed to do a lot, she became a full-fledged member of the community before she died. I believe she was 90 years old when she died, so very, very long, very prosperous life. What I would say about the visit is it's definitely worth it, and the reenactors are good. What I do find a little, it's hard, is that they will not come out of character, which may or may not be a good thing, and some people may like, and I find it a little distracting, because when you try to ask them a decent question, they can't answer it. So that I find a little distracting. The one difference that I see here, as opposed to a place like Fort Ticonderoga, is that at least in Fort Ticonderoga, the actors will come out of character and they will answer questions, and you can speak to them. It is a little distracting that this group will not. And, I understand the concept. I absolutely understand the concept. I understand why they do it. But it is a little distracting, and it's hard to get a conversation in, because they don't have a lot of people around who can answer the questions that you have, especially if you have questions about an ancestor that was here. So I would say it's worth it. Definitely come. It's very interesting, and it's a historical experience that you're probably not going to get anywhere else. So thanks for watching, and we will come back to you again. We're going to do some more exploring here in the next day or two, and we'll see what we can find. Interesting. That's a little odd. That's just a little odd. Very odd. They do have, this is the food, and the exit is this way. I think the exit is this way. Big gift shop. Stuff on sale. Very cool. There is a site where you can go on and you can find the fate of each of these people that were on the Mayflower. Aha, tickets.